Welcome to the New Rugged Order Podcast, exclusively on the Hard Knock Digital Culture channel. Now give it up to your host, people, MM2K.
Doesn't matter that I had to do that twice. It's okay. What's up, everybody? It's your boy MM2K. Sorry about that. Twitch is so funny about bitrate. I had my bitrate for OBS set at something a little bit higher, just 8,000. It's supposed to be 6,000 for Twitch, and it didn't like it, so I had to go through all that again. I will say this again, though, that like I said on the last edit, that is the hardest video game intro of all time. Things exploding, blowing up, disintegrating. Just the norm for an MM2K podcast, right? Not over the top at all, huh? What's up, everybody? Good to see y'all. This is a special NRO podcast. This is not our typical NRO podcast where we are going to be talking about like the latest and greatest in gaming. Even though we are going to have some latest and greatest in gaming stuff available to people that want to opine. Let me just do one thing here. First, let's play some music. And then I do want to tweet this out. Let everybody know that we're live. So let me do this real quick. Let me go here. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's tweet that there. Okay. And let's put that out. Come on. And then one more place that I want to go. Here. One more place that I do want to go here. We're going to tweet this out here. Tweet. Do it like that. Rudigs is following. Appreciate you, Rudigs. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, good brother, for following. All right, so here's what's gonna happen, y'all. There are a couple of things that I want to talk about. I definitely want to talk about where I've been, because a lot of people have been asking me, MM2K, where have you been? Which I do find kind of strange, but that's okay. Also, I'm going to talk about this new and cool thing that I'm working on, and then we're going to let you know what we're doing for the rest of the holiday. All right, so without further ado, let me get right into it. So a lot of people have been asking, MM2K, where have you been? And like I said earlier, I find that strange because I ain't been nowhere except creating content all over the place. Like prior to, I want to say about a month ago, or I'll say prior to Stadia closing down, we did Sound Off for members. We did SLS featured MM2K. We did SSC podcast. And that was sporadic. And then we did some sporadic videos here and there. That was it. And then I tried to squeeze in gameplays. I was doing a lot of gameplays. But since Stadia has closed down, we've brought this back. We've brought back Hard Knock Digital Culture. We've brought back, and then we're doing this show, the NRO Podcast. And we're doing videos covering all of gaming. SSC podcast is every week now. We make sure that that's available every week. And then I'm doing multiple shorts on all three platforms: Cloud Dosage, MM2K Gaming, and Cloud Dosage Streams. Along with the member, now we did pause Sound Off. So Sound Off, we did pause that. But we're doing a lot of content like the Cloud Gaming Compares, My First Look we brought back. We're doing a lot more content than we have been. So I don't know what people are talking about. I don't know what people are talking about when they said, hey, MM2K, I don't know where you're at. I'm here. You guys have to follow me on Twitter and Mastodon. Also, you got to follow me here at HNDC.live, where we have the schedule Like there are shows that I do, there's 3 shows a week that I do here. You guys got to make sure that on YouTube, the bells and notifications on all the channels that I participate, that you have those checked. Pay attention to the community tab. I mean, I don't know how else to let you guys know what we're doing. Well, I got one way, and I'm lying. There is one way that I can further let you guys know what I'm doing. And we're gonna get into that. But I'm still around. I haven't gone anywhere. Matter of fact, I'm doing more content. It's just I'm not doing the content that I used to do. I used to do a lot of live streams. You know, like I will tell you this: SLS featuring MM2K is on indefinite hiatus. I'm gonna get into that in a little bit. Yeah, SLS featuring MM2K. Don't expect that to be coming back anytime soon. We're gonna get into that a little bit. What is that? What? Man, get your ass out of here. This is, I want to offer promotion of your channel viewers. Man, look, bro. Bye. What is this? Get out of here. Can I delete your? Get out of here with that shit. I wish I knew how to delete comments. I don't know how to delete them. All right. So that's where we're at. We're doing a lot of content, but in order to keep up with what I'm doing, you got to be following me on Twitter, on Mastodon, follow HNDC.live, having the bell notifications on YouTube. If you're not doing that, then you're going to miss out on a lot of content. I can't stress that enough. I'm in multiple places. I'm not a static figure. I'm not just here or there. I'm everywhere. So I told you guys I got a touch of ADD. Anyway, says tell Squiz to show up on time every morning. Yeah. Hey, look, man. Squid is doing this thing. All right. So that's where I've been at. And some people may ask, okay, well, MM2K, why have you been everywhere? I'm gonna put it. I'll put it like this. I'll be very transparent. When Stadia closed down, I think a lot of people looked at my content and some of our colleagues' content and said, y'all had us under the belief system that Stadia wouldn't be closing down anytime soon. That, you know, Google had a commitment to this, and y'all were wrong. And therefore, we don't, I feel like you were lying to us, right? I'll put it like this. Were we wrong on Google's commitment to Stadia? Absolutely. There's no denying that. We were wrong. We didn't have an inside track on Google's commitment to Stadia. We had signs like when they invested into the load change porting tools. That was real. And just and the rest were intangibles like, look, Google is in a place to where if they want to stay at the top with the top companies, they have to compete in this space. They have to do so. A lot of that was intangibles along with some of the things that we did see. But the things that we definitely had an inside track on were the intentions of those in control, directly the leadership of Stadia. They had no intentions of going anywhere. And there were a lot of things that trickling over time that we let you guys know that we were 1,000% right on. I'll go all the way back to 2020 when everybody and their grandmother tried to tell you that Cyberpunk 2077 wasn't coming dang date. We told you. When everybody and their grandmother tried to tell you that, oh, that whole thing with Alex Hutchinson is going to destroy Stadia. We were right. They were wrong. When everybody was like, Google is going to pull the plug on Stadia in 2021, they just don't know how to tell you. And we told you, no, they made an investment, a significant investment in the low change porting tools. We didn't call it that because we didn't know the name of it, but we told you that, I want to say in March or May, and in July they made the announcement. We were right there. We told you that people were fearful. Oh, Stadia's not going to get more AAA games. And then they got more AAA games and they were going to get more. Stadia's not going to expand. You saw their whole card and they were about to expand. The only wild card was, again, the parent company Google came across the situation and just said, all right, we're done. And that level of uncommitment, I don't think anybody could have foreseen. But the Stadia team was definitely ready to go and they had a lot of great things lined up. It's just unfortunate that the parent team had a sudden change of heart and they decided not to move further. All right. So I think a lot of people had heard that and that's the way they came across it. Also, a lot of people, I think, who are reconciling, like to try to keep the consumer base or the community base. A lot of people are going to Xbox cloud gaming. It's no secret that I'm not the biggest fan of Xbox. And look, when we started this platform, I started it based off of, I'm going to tell the facts and I'm going to put my interpretation of those facts out there as transparent as possible. I'm not going to sugarcoat a thing, whether I like a platform or not. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I think I've proven that on multiple occasions, even with Stadia. But I don't like what Xbox is doing. So me personally, when I talk about Xbox, there isn't that enthusiasm there. I'm not mad at anybody or I don't discredit anybody that likes what Xbox is doing. No, you like what you like and that's fine. But there are specific type of things that I'm looking for as a gamer that when I look at Xbox, I don't see them doing. So because of that, I talk about that. But my thoughts and my opinions are not indicative of the whole brand cloud dosage. So it was important for me to not just unadulterate cloud dosage with my negativity towards Xbox, whether it's spot on or not. So that's why it was important for me to start this forum here or whatever, because I'm not going to stop speaking the truth. But again, the cloud dosage brand is about introducing you to all of the viable cloud platforms, letting you know what they are, what they aren't, so you can make a decision on what platform or platforms work best for you. All right. So that's another reason why I'm in more places, is that I got to speak my truth. But cloud dosage just isn't MM2K 2.0. It's more than that. So we are in the process, for those that are interested, we are in the process of talking to various sources, trying to nail down what people want to do. But if you like things like Xbox and xCloud, GFN, Luna, and you would like to create content around that, and you have a channel, but you feel like your channel isn't getting the jump start that you need, you can come work with us. You come work with us and try out and premiere some of your content there. And what that does is that brings our following of 2,000 plus subscribers, that brings that over to your platform. You get to showcase what it is that you have to say to them. And not only is that a great perk, but again, we do revenue sharing. There's no need to be secretive about that. We do revenue sharing over here. And the main reason why we do it is you're not going to become rich. Trust me. Well, no. Hey, look, I don't know what you could do. It all depends. You could come and create a great show, and because the channel was monetized, come up with a great concept and end up reaching 10,000 viewers. I don't know. I'm not going to deny anybody's capability there. What I am saying is that you may not become rich overnight, but at least it gives you an opportunity to better understand how a monetized channel works, because we sit down with the content creators. We go over the inflow of whatever revenue they've helped spawn, and we take it from there. So, and it's a very the percentages are very much into the content creator's favor. We're basically just trying to recoup any expenses. That's it. We're not doing this to get paid or to go to the Sizzler or buy the latest Jordans or whatever. We're just trying to recoup on the expenses of setting up the platform, and pretty much the rest is yours. So if you're interested, if you got some content that is related to a platform or cloud gaming that you're interested in, definitely hit us up. I'm speaking solely for the YouTube channel. Hit us up, and we can make some things happen. You know what I mean? So with that said, we want to put that out there because we are in the process of getting more well-rounded communication, but fact-finding communication around some shows like Xbox shows and GFN shows and all of this stuff. We got one great show. I'm not going to speak too much about it, but we got one great show that I think is really going to, it's going to be filled with great debate, great conversation, and give a great overview of things in the cloud gaming space, in a particular cloud gaming space. I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. So with that said, stay tuned for that. But then, there's room for other shows. This is a community platform. We want to educate and entertain simultaneously. We don't want to just entertain, and you can educate, but we don't want to put people to sleep. So we're going to do both. So if you're interested, definitely hit us up, and we can make things happen. Definitely. I know Rudiggs. I know Rudiggs said, "Damn, there's a lot of commercials on Twitch." And yeah, we apologize for that. It's just, Twitch as a I'm gonna get into that a little bit. Twitch as a platform, though, I feel like is vital to a content creator. He says they will pressure Alphabet's heads on non-profitable units, says Paul G. He says it would be interesting to know what happened. Why did they shut down Stadia? I don't blame Cloud Dosage for not getting it right. I don't think anyone could have predicted Stadia's closure with the market growing to 13 trillion in 5 years. I'll give you a high level Rudiggs analysis of what I've been informed from very credible sources. And we're talking about sources that help lay down the foundation for us being able to know that, know vital things such as, know about, the low change porting. Like we broke that story on the Cloud Dosage platform. And we'll probably never get credit for that, but for everybody that helped facilitate that story, I'm going to give them their flowers. We broke that story here on Cloud Dosage. That Alphabet had made a significant investment, and it was they went to the developers. They would have had Google and Stadia go to developers, ask them what they need. Once they found out, they wrote a check, made a significant investment in these tools. But so on the same breath, in the same line of that information, or that information base, Google was presented with an offer that with this impending tech bubble, $1 trillion tech bubble, that they felt like that they couldn't refuse. And that required them to just basically bow out of Stadia retail, and besides some core relationships, not offer the Stadia tech to anybody else. That's what I've gotten from a credible, very credible source. What I also got from a very credible source is that, and again, to show that this was all last minute, because the expansion to Mexico was supposed to happen. And then all of a sudden people were asking questions internally about that. And then that got pushed to the wayside. But also what you see here with Ubisoft and Amazon, and then what's that, Boosteroid doing the, install method, just bring your own game. Stadia was actually going to do that in first quarter of 2023. You were going to have the ability to bring your own game from PC and play it on Stadia, as long as I would assume that you had a Stadia Pro subscription. And that would have made Stadia Pro even more lucrative, because for those that had older games, or like me, I always ask for BioShock Infinite. I mean, not BioShock Infinite, but for the BioShock games to come, 1 and 2. And for older games and some games that they just can't get natively on the platform, that would be a great way for you to still be able to play them using the fantastic Stadia tech. So they were going to give you like a PC in the sky or something like that, and you can install, you can play your games through the cloud that way. Stadia was going to do that too. It's no coincidence that Ubisoft started this with Amazon, because they were going to then start with Amazon, I guess pick up with Stadia afterwards. And then Stadia would try to pursue more games. And a very interested party approached Google and said, look, we want what you have, but we don't want it in the hands of everybody, including you. Like, we don't want you competing with us. Like, we can't take you seriously on it. We can't take seriously having. So here's what we're willing to offer. Get out of the game, and then we can negotiate us working together exclusively, or not really exclusively. I think there's like some other parties that are going to be involved. But shut this shit down. And that's why you're not hearing anything else about immersive stream, from what I understand. And again, all of this could be correct. None of it could be correct. Bits and pieces of this could be correct. All I'm saying is this came from a very credible source that I've gotten various information from prior, where none of it was wrong. None of it was wrong. So I'm inclined to believe this as well. That Stadia, that this was a very hasty Google decision. It wasn't like done in a day. Like, I do believe that killed by Google letter that we all jumped on, to be fair, we jumped all over that. I think that was a signal of what was going to happen. It's just what ended up happening is the writer of that letter purposely put a whole bunch of BS in there, I guess, to take the scent off their trail. But somebody high up who would have been privy to that information, somebody high up released that information. And there's more to it. So from what I understand from very credible sources, that's what's happened. That's why it happened. Again, that all could be true. We don't know if this deal with that very interested source is even going to come to fruition. We don't know. Would I have preferred them not do this? Yeah, I definitely would have. I know a lot of gamers wouldn't have. Like, I was playing Madden last night on Stadia. Look, don't get me wrong. I love GeForce Now. I love the 3080 tier, but there's just nothing like Stadia. The convenience, it's just the feeling that you get when booting up Stadia. It like makes you feel so frictionless. Like, I was playing Madden on there last night, booted it up, had a blast. And it was just so easy getting in and getting out. You couldn't beat it. It was the best in the cloud. It's just, unfortunately, I think it was in the wrong hands. It was in the wrong hands. Google is an experiment company. Google is an experiment company. This is what people got to understand. I don't want to go too far in the weeds about this. I'll talk about a lot of this later. Google is an experiment company. And even when it seemed like their back is up against the wall and they have to do some traditional things, Google always finds a way to do their flippant, goofy way of handling business and just throw everybody off. So it is what it is. I'll talk about that later in more detail. But, that's what happened. Rudick says, he says, you guys were the closest to the Stadia heartbeat than any other source, so I would be beyond curious on your take of why Stadia shut down. Yeah, that's the information. And again, Rudick's, what I tend to do, and this is why I think our product is unique and different over here, and I don't want it to be sold short. So I think that we deserve credit where credit is due. I don't want nobody patting me on my back, or I don't need accolades, but I'm saying, like, for the sake of the people that also help and create our platforms and make them great, give us credit where credit is due. Give those people their credit. We don't, what makes us unique is we don't sit there and have an idea and go, I think this is what's going on. So because I think this is what's going on, let me go find some facts, caveat them or cater them to my thought. And then I'm going to give my hypothesis. At the end of the day, that's still a hypothesis, regardless of how entertaining it sounds or how amusing it may be or how many eyes it may catch. It's not fact. It's a hypothesis. It's not necessarily fact. What we do is we just comb over facts. We discuss the facts with people that know them. We come over the facts and we sit there and we say, oh, so is this what this means? And we go validate our thought process from looking at the facts. And then we say, okay, is it reasonable that this is what's going on? And in our fact checking process to quality control what we're thinking, well, it'll either be confirmed or it'll be rejected. Like, no, how you're interpreting this is not right, or how you're interpreting this is spot on. And then, okay, so that's solid. And we move on to the next thing. So I think that's what makes us unique. We don't sit there and try to play I Spy or, Perry Mason and just come up with these thoughts and then look for facts to support our thoughts. That's just a hypothesis. We are looking at conveying facts, period. So understand, if what I'm conveying to you, I believe solely because the source that provided it to me has never given me anything wrong at all. Like, not even an iota of what they told me was wrong. Like, when they told me about the low change porting, that was right. 110%. Everything else they've told me about, right, 110%. Expansion. I knew about the expansion before y'all even had a clue. But like I told y'all before, I'm not the type of person that knows stuff and feel like, oh, this will grow my channel. I got to go out and tell people first because it'll help. No. And the only reason why I'm telling y'all this stuff right now is because it's possible for me to say this without me putting any of my sources at risk. If it's going to put my sources at risk, I'm not telling you. Why? Because number one, that's not a good thing to do. And two, if I don't have the trust in my sources, guess what? I'm not getting any more information. So there are things that I knew about. I didn't know about Stadia's closure, not at all. There were things that I knew about, positive, most of it, that I couldn't tell you. And there's still some things that I can't tell you. Most of it is positive because I want it to come to fruition. And when I say positive, I don't mean Stadia's coming back that I know of. No. And even if Stadia would come back, that would be a hard act to try to commence. But what I'm saying is that Stadia's closure isn't all doom and gloom. There are some positives that hopefully will come from that are being worked on now, and hopefully those things come to fruition. So we'll see. But yeah, we base everything we do off of. So I appreciate that, Rude Diggs. I just wanted to. Your comment was a great comment, and I wanted to shore it up by letting people know that our takes come directly from the facts. or if somebody, or if we have proven sources, we'll tell you what that proven sources told us, and we'll let you know if we think that jives. And I do think it jives. Hey, yo, Sean L in the house. Appreciate you, good brother, for coming through. All right, so no, I appreciate you, Rue Diggs, as always, man. Like I said, we appreciate a lot of you guys in the community. We can't do this without you guys, you Rue Diggs included, and we've always wanted to work with folks like you, and stuff happens. Stadia closed down, and that threw everything in a whirlwind. We had to go rebrand and figure out what the new brand was going to be and all this stuff. But if you guys have ideas and you want to do stuff, and you're like, hey, the channel was monetized, and maybe we can take advantage of that by, seeing how it works, how it is to work with a monetized channel, and how to handle that type of support, along with being able to take our supporters and branch them off to your platforms. Just hit us up, let us know, and we can make some things happen. All right. With that said, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing on different platforms. I'm doing it because I don't want to consume cloud dosage with my talk and my rhetoric all the time. We have, for instance, I'm not the biggest Xbox supporter, but when you look at the majority of the cloud dosage community and cloud dosage contributors, they outweigh me like 1,000,000,000. So it's not fair just because I'm a co-founder and I got the keys to the mic that I'm on here all the time with my negativity. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said we're going to put it on my individual platforms, and that's where I'm gonna be at, because that's where I'm going with my content. Another reason is, look, I want to create platforms that people feel like that they can really gain something from, whether it's you on the other end of this mic listening and saying, oh, well, that was interesting. I never realized that. That's some great fact-based information. Or whether it's a content creator that's like, look, man, thank you for allowing us to come on, revenue share, exposing us to the experience. I'm doing this because I want to provide something to people. This is not so I can get something out of it. I'm blessed. My family is blessed. We're good. We're good. I'm doing this because I'm one of those people that feel like that in order to be a good steward to society, you got to be providing something. And as cheesy and as dumb as that sounds, that's what this platform is for. When I started this platform, it was based off an idea that me and my brother had. Me and my brother were roommates at the time. We had first got our Xboxes. We had everything. We had a badass PC. We had 2 Xboxes, 2 PlayStations, all this stuff. And me and my brother would play games. We would play co-op games all the time. Co-op was a big thing when we were doing the stuff. And System Link was part of the OG Xbox, and we thought System Link was the coolest thing in the world. Where you could each have your own Xbox fired up. If they were in the same location, you use a crossover cable, and you guys could be playing together on your own TV, whether the game had online co-op or not. See, this is like 15 years ago, where online infrastructures were not the greatest. So at times there would be games to where in order for you to play co-op, you couldn't do it online. The possibilities weren't there. But if you had something like a crossover, you could either do split screen co-op locally, or you could do System Link, where if you were like selfish, like how I was, like I don't want to be doing no damn split screen. I want to see the entire screen. But there's another Xbox here, and you know what I'm saying? And we're going to connect those 2 Xboxes together, and my brother can play and see his whole screen. I can play and see my whole screen, and we can be playing the same game session. That was the point of System Link for Xbox. It was the greatest thing. And it was pretty much, System Link was the parent component of the frag parties. If you're old enough to remember when Halo first came out, there was those 16 player frag parties where 16 people could get together, 8v8, and just there'd be 16 Xbox. People would do this all the time. It was crazy how big the Xbox was. It was as big as like a damn generator. But people would carry around their Xboxes, go to somebody's crib, and hook up all 16 Xboxes, right? And do 8v8 that way. You know what I mean? And just play with each other that way locally. Them frag parties. Y'all are not old enough to know about that. And that's how we dealt with the limitations of the technology back then. So I thought System Link was a great thing. Because System Link was so great, I felt like it should be in more games. So what did we do? We petitioned and we went around, and this wasn't going to benefit just us. It was going to benefit the whole community. We went around and petitioned, went to GameStops and EB Games and stuff like that, and created petitions for people to say, yeah, we want System Link in more games, thinking that would do something. And it didn't do anything, but what it did is it showed us that, hey, we could mobilize people. We can mobilize people. We can do good for people. And then there came a situation where I went to a Best Buy to get something called a VGA splitter. It allowed you to play your console on a computer monitor. And again, back then, that was like a far off idea. Technology back then, of course, wasn't where it is now. And I remember going to Best Buy and the Geek Squad told me that there was no such thing as the VGA cord, or I forgot what it was, VGA box, whatever it was called. And I was like, yes, there is, because I had one. It just broke. It just, the wires went bad. Oh, you're lying and all this other stuff, right? And that's when I knew. I said, look, gaming is becoming more and more popular, which in one aspect is cool, but in another aspect, it's not, because based off of its popularity, the mainstream gamers that really don't know anything, that are just going with the craze, they're starting to overtake this. And when they start overtaking it, they don't pay attention to details. They don't pay attention to facts. See, gaming just used to be a nerd thing. And see, one thing with nerds is they don't mess around with non-factual stuff. It has to be factual, or they don't even want to hear it. They don't want to hear hypotheses or theories or whatever. It's just all about the facts. So when you go to a source that is supposed to be experts of something gaming related, when you did it way back in the day, like in the 80s, in the early 90s, before gaming really started taking off, you were comfortable with the information that you were given because that person did their research. They were a nerd or a geek about it, and they knew what to give you, right? And they gave you nothing but facts. Now that this started becoming a mainstream thing, not so much. So you started having people working for a thing called the Geek Squad, which was really crazy to me. It's called the Geek Squad, but they don't know about these things that a typical geek in gaming would know about. And so then we said, you know what, we're running into a very dangerous situation where there are people talking about this thing, this passion of ours, that don't know what they're talking about. And with the advent of the internet, it's only going to get worse, because the internet is going to give bigger and bigger microphones to people who are charming, people that make you feel all warm and fuzzy, but people that don't know what the hell they're talking about. And there has to be a parallel counter voice that can combat all that misinformation that's being wrapped and cloaked in these little warm, fuzzy feelings. There has to be a counterbalance to that. And that's how PNTS Network came about. The PNTS stands for Pencil Neck 30 something, meaning we're pencil neck geeks, but at the time we were in our 30 somethings, and we identified as pencil neck geeks because the pencil neck geek, when you go to a pencil neck geek, he may not be the coolest or the flashiest person in the world, but when you go to him, you're going to get factually accurate information. And that's what it was all about. So I don't pride myself in having the most viewers. I never did. We don't pride ourselves in being the coolest or the funniest, never did. We're going to entertain you. You're going to be entertained. But first and foremost, it's about providing you factual data, not shooting from the hip and telling you what I feel. We're here to provide something unique to you. So, and because we do it that way, and we're not going to be fighting for views and fighting for all the other stuff, we may not appeal to the broadest audience. But what the hope is that the audience that we do appeal to, that we can get your support. What do I mean by that? When you guys go to check out the aforementioned squids, it's great that I see you guys there on a daily basis, but don't take squids for granted. He may not have the most followers in the world, but he's dedicating himself to you guys every day. So if I see you over there on Joe Blow's channel, and Joe Blow, he may have 20,000 subscribers, and you're like, Joe Blow, I love you. Here goes $30. And then 5 minutes later, you're dropping them $50 and all this other stuff. For the person, and Joe Blow is giving you nothing. You know what I'm saying? He's giving you nothing. Not a t-shirt, not extra nothing. You go to Squid and he's contributing stuff for the members. He's over there on Stadia Doses Stream. He's doing whatever he can. Show him some support too. That's what we're hoping for. And so another reason why you may not see me as frequently live on the Cloud Doses platform, even though I love the cloud community, don't get me wrong. One thing that is eyebrow raising is that I see a lot of that. And I feel what I want to do is I want to do a lot of game streams, and I want to talk my ish and then go about my business. So it's not about me. Me doing less and less content is the ultimate goal anyway. I want to do a lot of game streams and talk my ish from time to time. So it's not about me. But what I do is I roam around all these platforms to try to garner up support for people like Squids or whoever that contribute, to the platforms. So when I'm live and what I'm looking for retweets. I'm looking for people to show up, views, likes, all the other stuff. And when I don't get that, I say to myself, well, hold on. I did a 2-hour podcast. It took me 2 hours to prepare for it because, again, we do fact-finding stuff here. That's 4 hours that maybe if I spent it over here, we would get support. And it's not like the support can't happen because I'm looking at people over at Joe Blow and all this other stuff, and they're going crazy. And when I say support, I don't necessarily mean super chat or bits or whatever. Just a tweet, a like, a forward. MM2K is live, a mention, something. But if I come here to Hard Knock Digital Culture or MM2K Gaming, and I'm getting more of that in the month that I've been here than half of the year over there, because again, my job, I call myself like the majority whip. My job is to whip up support so I can go back to our content creators and say, here, thank you very much for contributing and adding to the community. Here you go. And I either do that through the contributions or I do that with the views. I'm whipping up more views for you or whatever. And if I can't do that successfully on a platform, then I got to go to B and C in order to do that. So just some food for thought for those of you that, again, were like, M2K, man, I don't even see you no more. If you're watching, hit that like button. Subscribe. All right. Now, let me do this. me go back to the comments, and then we're going to get into the super cool thing that we're working on. Paul G said, unfortunately, Stadia dead. Yeah, unfortunately it died. But, well, it died as a retail product, but died in all forms of it getting in the hands of content of gamers. Not yet. That's all I'm going to say about that. Like when that whole soliloquy about somebody approached Google and said, here goes a check, cut off all access to everybody else. We would, if we're going to do this, we along with only a few exceptions want access to this thing. So, excuse me, Stadia's not going yet. And those that wrote that check, if it comes to fruition, it's going to change cloud gaming. It's going to flip it on its head. They're going to automatically catapult to the most desired cloud gaming platform, period, bar none. It's going to flip it. It's going to really change the trajectory of cloud gaming. It's going to take them from zero to hero. Because I would say they're kind of in it right now, but they're just in it. They're not really making any noise. Nobody's really talking about them in the cloud space that much. That would they would immediately go from zero to hero if that comes to fruition. That's all I'm going to say. Let me see. Rudick says it must be a challenge to go from just covering Stadia to expand your coverage to the entire cloud world. So many platforms, so much news, it's much larger scope of news to cover. Kudos to you guys for tackling it and keeping the community alive. Yeah, I got to give a shout out. I can't take any credit for that. I got to give a shout out to our co-founder of CloudDosage.com, Jack DeSlip, and the wonderful team over at CloudDosage.com. They're the guys that did that. And I pretty much piggyback off of them. I put input in, but those are the individuals that did that. And what happened was when Stadia was dying, or when the announcement was made, I had caught COVID. So I was out for a week. So a lot of these guys had to scramble. I mean, I could barely open my eyes sometimes. I was barely able to breathe and take a look at what they were saying and put a thumbs up or something like that in there. And they were able to really get things together. So shout out to Jack, shout out to the team there. And in that same vein, those guys over at CloudDosage.com, they got a thing called Buy Me a Coffee. All of them have Buy Me a Coffee profiles. We should be seeing Buy Me Coffee contributions to those guys. They do a wonderful job. So again, if you're over at Joe Blow's channel, and Joe Blow ain't giving you jack squat, but he may have 30,000 subscribers and you feel like you're one of the cool kids. Hey, Joe Blow, I love you. I'm in your chat. Here goes $5,000, $100,000. But meanwhile, these guys are contributing, giving you fact bait. I mean, they're covering the cloud community like no other. And nothing against anybody else that's out there, but these guys are out here doing it. I'm willing, and this is don't thank me. I thank Jack. This is like the best. This is the best group covering the cloud. They're killing it over there. So if I can see you over on Joe Blow's platform, oh, Joe Blow, I love you. Oh. Yet you're reading every Cloud Dosage, article out there and benefiting from the information that we're giving you. Buy those guys a coffee. And again, this isn't coming from them. They're not complaining about this. This is just who I am as a person. When I see stuff like that, it flips my gears. And again, I'm not talking about for me. I'm gonna be all right. I know how. Look, this is why I'm doing Hard Knock Digital Culture. This is why I'm doing MM2K Gaming. I'm already solidified. There's been people chomping at the bit waiting for me. Paul G's one of them. Paul G ain't ashamed to say so. Paul G hit me up every now and again. Hey, yo, MM2K, what's going on, brother? I ain't seen you in a while. When are you coming back? When are you I got people chomping at the bit, waiting for me to cover regular gaming and to dump cloud gaming altogether. As soon as I came over here, Muggs was hitting me with 6-7 month subscriptions, hitting up the Cash App. I'm Gucci. Hitting up the PayPal. I forgot. Hey, look, I forgot the PNTS network PayPal was existed. I'm getting emails, the ping, ting, 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 ting. What? Oh yeah, that is right. I forgot all about it. We're Gucci. I'm a get mine. My thing is that for our contributors who are trying to grow their platforms and then providing you with great content, show them some love, especially if you're there all the time. If all you can do in order to show love is to hit the like button, well, damn it, hit the like button. Because I know you're doing it over at Joe Blow's channel. I love you, Joe. Oh my God. Me and my wife wouldn't be together still if it wasn't for you, Joe. Meanwhile, Joe Blow don't acknowledge you, don't do a damn thing. Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you, Bobby D, for the $50 super chat. Anyway, as I was saying before I got interrupted. That's how they be treating y'all. Y'all be loving these bugs because of their check marks and the number of subscribers. Look out for the little guy. Like, there's a bunch of people out there right now that got all this Google Play credit. They don't know what to do with it. And they out there giving it to Joe Blow. Look, if you weren't giving it to anybody, I wouldn't say anything, but you out there giving it to Joe Blow. You can't show these guys some love. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to get mine. But when I go and I try to whip up support for these great contributors and I hear crickets, and I'll be like, oh, okay, well. So this is a community. It's a give and take. And my time is very, I value my time. I love giving, but I value my time. And I'm not going to neglect, like, we got a bunch of members over at Cloud Dosage News. Why would I spend 4 hours just giving away something publicly that we can make exclusive for them and add value to their membership? And I'm saying that, why would we do that when there's no support, no retweets, no likes, nothing? So that's another reason why there's a diversification of where you'll see me. And I hope people don't take that the wrong way and say, oh, you jackass. Oh. No, it's just, I'm just that type of person. If I'm Gucci, I'm gonna get mine. I know how to run the game. I'm gonna get mine. I was, as soon as the first day I was here, MM2K, you back? Ding 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 ding. I was like, whoa. I'm Gucci. I just got hit up proper by Twitch. It's more than I ever got for Cloud Dosage for the entire year. No quills. No quills, because what we do for the over on the member side is everything that we get from the members, we put right back in to the platform as far as giveaways and other things. So I don't want to slight our members over at Cloud Dosage, but when I tell you guys, I don't pocket anything over there, I am not lying to you. That is not cap. But you damn right. When I came over to Twitch, they hooked a brother up. That's what I'm saying. Like, come on, man. I'm good. I'm not saying this for me. I'm saying this because I see our creators doing some great stuff. Our writers are killing it. Like, show them some love, please. We appreciate it. Let me see here. Let's go back to the comments. Sean said, that's funny as hell. He's also said, you just gonna call me out like that? No. Hey, no, Sean is one. Sean is a true one, man. Sean is a true one. Even when I came over here, brother showed me some love, man. I appreciate it. Sean is a true one. That's what I'm talking about. For people like Sean who appreciate the content, he's a true one. So even if something happens and Sean's like, look, man, I know I used to do this, but I can't. it don't matter. It's not even about that. We know it's people are trying to angle their support for basis of popularity. I want to be down with the cool guy with 30,000 subs. So even though he's not giving me any, or she's not giving me anything, I feel like if I give them this $10, they'll accept me and they'll like me. No, they don't. I don't care about you. But for the person that knows you by name, that you talk to every day, you can't give them a like or give them a sub or hit a super chat for them. To me, that's just weirdo stuff. I'm never, and that's because I don't believe in celebrity. I've never been a celebrity type person. Like, oh my God, you're this, you bleed red blood just like me. That's why a lot of people used to be mad at me when I would go after people like Paul Tassi and Tom Ward. Oh my God, you're such a mean guy, because they put them on such a pedestal because of the following that they have. You bleed red blood just like me. You ain't no better than I am, and I'm no better than you. That's why I can go back and forth with anybody. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Paul G said, no, here go Paul G, because Paul G, I know you lying, bruh. Paul G, you just hit the lottery for $55 billion. No, I'm just lying. Paul G's he's been a big time supporter. That's what I'm saying. And when I say support, again, I'm not just talking about monetarily. I'm talking about, yo, MM2K is live. Check him out. A retweet or something. Paul G was big on that. Pokey Chick said my name. That's how it be, bro. That's how it be. They'll give Pokey Chick $900 Google credits. They'll see Squids every day. Ain't dropped one play credit on him. I know what to do with my play credit. I'm gonna give it to Pokey Chick. To me, that's just different to me. I can't roll like that. Anywho, but enough about that. I wasn't even supposed to be taking this long. Here's what I do want to say. Paul G said, I had no idea you were on Twitch. You know what? Yeah, I was on Twitch. But hey, Paul G, you don't remember when me and Neethles? You were here because me and Neethles did what really got me popping on Twitch. Let me tell y'all something real quick, and I got to get to the cool thing that I'm working on because this is very important. Remember when me and Neethles founded NRO Podcast? That was me and Neethles' thing. Now Neethles, I don't know what the hell Neethles is studying to be an archaeologist. I don't know what the hell Neethles is doing right now. He may every now and again pop up and do something with, excuse me, with Triple B, or may pop up in the DM. I don't know what the hell Neethles is doing. Or Neethles might be on that talk that shit talk that trash podcast and that goddamn Xbox. He might show up on there every now and again. I don't know what Neethles is doing, but me and him founded this NRO podcast. It used to be me and him every Monday. Remember that? And then one day Neethles couldn't make it, and I got Z on there. God, hey yo, when I tell you Z is an animal unlike any other, when Muggs found out that Z was present, just his presence on another channel, I think at the time I may have had 10 followers. It went from 10 to 65 in one show. Every 5, I had to disable my alert bar, because when people found me over here, it was like do, and it was taking over the show, and people was like, shut off your damn alert bar. And I was like, oh my bad, hold on, man. Oh man, yeah. Z is a phenomenon. So once I got up to 55, then the rest was history. Shout out to my brother Z. And then we start, we had one show where I had What's his name, man? What's dude's name? Oh man, golly, Xbox 448. Him and I had what's the other dude's name? Carl Max or something. We had some great shows on here, man. Randolph Thor. We had Randolph Thor on here a couple of times. Yeah, man, we was shit. We was popping back then. It's Sean's crazy ass. Hey, let me see. Paul G said, I was always looking for you on YouTube. You need to go to Z. He needs you. Too many slow dudes over there. Oh, man. No, I would love to be a active Triple B member, meaning that I can make the damn shows. The problem is my schedule right now, which it may change. If it changes, then it might be different, because like I've been telling people, I've had this new venture with my good friend, and he owns a business and he's made me like his director. And if this shit blows up the way, like we got a couple of contracts that we're negotiating now. If this shit blows up, I'm quitting my job. If I quit my job, I might be on camera. I might finally get to see my pretty face. I'll be on camera because my boss will be my boy, my homie, and he don't mind that shit. Matter of fact, me and him was supposed to be doing a podcast talking about our upbringings and talking about what it was like growing up in the projects. You know what I'm saying, in Pittsburgh. You know, very comical. Me, him, and his cousins. Shout out to Big Hump. We was gonna do something like that on another side, but I was like, yeah, no, there's just too much. There's too much there. Some of that stuff we need to keep under wraps. But anywho, yeah, then I wouldn't be under this whole I can't show my likeness because of government interaction and all the other stuff. You know what I mean? So we'll see. But if I go full time with that, then not only would I be on camera, but I would be able to make late shows, because the way my schedule is right now, I can't podcast past 7:00. And really, it's very infrequent that I'm podcasting past 4. Like, I mean, I'm not saying the show can start at 4. I mean, I literally have to be done by 4. Like my podcasting cutoff, I want to say, is around 4:00. And Z don't start till, the earliest he may start is 5. But he doesn't start till like 7, 8 o'clock at night. And again, he's not going to rearrange which I wouldn't rearrange his whole schedule so he could do something with me. Like, who are you? But if we ever can get back to, like, one of my favorites was the Best Damn Podcast, period. I love that show. I think that was a great show, and I was sad to see that go away. If that ever comes back, and we can do it, you know, like how we were doing it before, between 3 and 5. Like, even if we do it at 5, you know, and that's my only commitment that late, once a week, I'll do it. You know what I mean? But he said Z got a bunch of slow dudes over there. Franklin Ave in Pittsburgh. Oh, Paul G, you from the Berg? You from the Berg? You from the Berg, Paul G? I didn't know that. Or did you tell me that before? Franklin Ave. Hold on. No, I'm thinking of Frankstown. Where's Franklin Ave? Is Franklin Ave, is that North Side? I'm thinking of Frankstown. Yeah, let me know. What is that Northside, bro? Your boy MM2K is from the, as we call it, the KHP, Killer Hill Projects, Hill District. That's where I'm from. Lot of crazy stories. Man, we used to just do, like, when I look back at it, man, we were fortunate and blessed. We did a lot of dumb stuff. But we had a blast doing it. I'm glad I ain't grow up in this era, man. Oh God, all these mugs know how to do is just, it's a shame. I don't want to go down that road. But when you say Franklin Ave, he says, no, there was a girl from Alabama that moved here. I used to visit her. I would stay in Monroeville. Oh, you from Monroeville? Oh, okay. All right, Paul G. That's what's up. It was in Monroeville. Yeah, I was in brother. I was in the city. Killer Hill Projects, Homewood. Up Baxter Park. We used to be up there. Kelly Street. Frankstown. Don't come to the Ave. Frankstown Avenue in Homewood. I wasn't on Frank. I ain't gonna sit there in front like I was on Frank. Well, my crazy family was up there. But I was always up on Chauncey up on the hill. You know what I'm saying? Francis. That's where those were my stomping grounds on the hill. I was in the city, bruh. I was in the city up in the projects. Reed and Roberts, Whiteside. Man, I was talking to my homie and I said, "No, man, we can't talk about this." I said, "We can't talk about this stuff. No." So yeah, crazy times, man, crazy times. He says, but I would get a hotel in Monroe. Oh, he says, no, he says from Alabama, but I would get. Oh, okay, I got you. I got used to get there. Oh, okay. She stayed in the hood. Oh, I got you. Okay. Oh, I see. Paul G making the up north trip. I see you, Paul. Yeah, man, crazy times. Anywho, all right, so let's get into the cool stuff that I wanted to talk about. So on the same vein as, it's my job to be the whip, to try to whip up support for our contributors. I'm going to make that my focus in 2023. Like, we're really starting now, but really in the 2023, we're going to make that even a bigger focus. Because ultimately, like I said, I like doing stuff like this where, when the opportunity presents itself, I can go live or I can just play games. I like doing a lot of game streams. I'm floating back to that, but I still want to provide platforms that showcase other content creators and stuff like that. Right. So with that being said, those that support us, we're going to put more effort into showing you the love back. So what we're doing is we're starting with our members, people that are members of our platforms, whether it be here at Hard Knock Digital Culture, whether it be at Cloud Dosage, or whether it be in our revamped Patreon. You're no longer going to be segregated from content. What am I talking about? Well, let's start here. You know how we do. Let me show you something. All right, as you see here, this is the PNTS Network Patreon. This is the site. You go to patreon.com/PNTS network. So you have multiple ways to be part of the PNTS network family of member content. You can go to the website and directly sign up there, which will give you access to the 3 levels of commitment that we are introducing. Commitment level 1 is tier 1. Then there's tier 2, and then there's tier 3. That's across the board everywhere. Every platform that you go to that is a PNTS network platform, there's going to be 3 tiers of membership support. Now, some may vary. Like here, on PNTSnetwork.com at Patreon, it's only $1 if you want to get into tier 1, but anywhere else it's $1.99. And the reason why it's $1 is because we actually have members that are still part of that tier, and they signed up when we made it $1, and we can't change that. So we're going to leave it there as $1. So if you want to go straight to the PNTS network and sign up at that tier, that's fine. And what that generally does is the tier 1 stuff will give you access to some podcasts, but it'll get you, shout out on our various platforms. We'll give you a shout out for becoming a member on the platform, on various platforms or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it'll get you access to some audio. It'll also give you access to our Discord, our new Discord, which is the PNTS Omega Discord. And it's very important that y'all pay attention to that Discord, because the Discord is at the center of all this. So you're going to get $1 for your $1 membership, or for your tier 1 membership rather. That's what you get. You'll get access to some podcasts. You'll get access to various other content. You'll get a shout out, and that at the very least you'll get access to our Discord. That's at tier 1. At tier 2, you'll get all those tier 1 perks, but you're going to get access to more podcasts and content. Like things like My First Look. You'll either get first access or exclusive access to that, and so forth. Now, tier 3 is like our awesome supporter, who will get all of those perks. And then there's other kind of like administrative things, like as far as conversations and meetings and being part of podcasts and stuff like that, that the awesome supporter tier will give you access to. And we're still fleshing that out and adding more to that. So more to come on that. So those are the 3 tiers. And it's kind of like that everywhere already, except for we didn't have it like that on the Patreon. On the Patreon, we had your support broken up into the platform, but we're not doing it that way. We're going to do it where you get your access to a tier, right? So when you access a particular tier, let's just say if I create content for Hard Knock Digital Culture tier 2 members. What would happen before is if you weren't a tier 2 Hard Knock Digital Culture member here on Twitch, you couldn't access that content. Well, what we've been able to do is that regardless of where you're tier 2 at, whether you're tier 2 on Hard Knock Digital Culture, tier 2 at Cloud Dosage, or tier 2 here on the Patreon, everybody that is tier 2 can access tier 2 content. Everybody that has tier 1 access, regardless of where you at, can access any tier 1 content. Anyone. So what we've done is we've taken out the need for, oh man, you made that video for the Patreon members, but I'm a tier 3 Cloud Dosage member, so I don't get access to that. Oh, now I got to be a tier 3 Patreon and Cloud Dosage member. We took out the appearance that you guys were getting nickel and dimed, and we broke it up to, we set it up to, we connected everything to where now, regardless of what platform you've entered in, if you've entered tier 1 anywhere, you're going to get access to all tier 1 content. Tier 2 anywhere, access to all tier 2, and so on and so on. So keep that in mind. The where you can go, I'm going to put this right here, is if you're not a member anywhere. Hold on, let me do this. Patreon.com/PNTS network. So if you're not a member at any of the tiers elsewhere, like if you're not a member here, or if you haven't subscribed here, if you haven't subscribed on Cloud Dosage, to access any of this special content, you have to go to PNTS Network and subscribe there. Not PNTS Network, at Patreon, on the Patreon, and subscribe there if you want access to the special content. But if you're already subscribed as a member, let's just say on Cloud Dosage, or you're subscribed here, there's no need to go here because you're going to get access to the same content. If you want to double book, I ain't going to be mad at you, but you don't have to anymore in order to access all the content. And what's going to happen is, if we make content for, let's just say, the Hard Knock Digital Culture, which is here. If I make Hard Knock Digital Culture member content, but it's tier 2 content, and you're a tier 2 member on Cloud Dosage, what's going to happen is, via the Discord, you're going to get a notification of that content and where to go to see it. So it's very important that if you don't have access to the Discord right now, that you go and you connect your account. You connect either your Twitch account or your YouTube account. You connect it to Discord right now. If you sign up for the Patreon, it's going to automatically connect you there. But if you have not connected your Twitch account and or your YouTube account to Discord, do that now. And there's videos out there. You can just type up how to connect my Twitch account to Discord. Like I think if you go to Discord and settings and then integration, the options will be there. I believe that's where it's at. But you can look it up. So do that now. So if you're a member, and right now there's a lot of members across, like I want to say that only 3% of our members have connected their accounts to Discord. So they're going to miss out on a lot of other potential cross-platform content. So if you're a member, Sean L., I'm talking to you. Rude Diggs, I'm talking to you. If you're a member, hit that, go to Discord, connect your Twitch account, connect your YouTube account, and you're going to get notifications that this content is available. As a matter of fact, we put out our first video today of this cross-platform nature, and it's available via the Discord. Now, the Discord is very instrumental in this and key in all this. I'm going to get into that a little bit more, but first, let me go to the chat, see what the chat is saying about this. He said, America scares me. Rudick says, me a little being from Canada. I'm gonna be honest with you. Let me be a little candid here about this, because this is off topic of gaming. I'm gonna be a little candid here, but y'all know me. I like to be transparent. I grew up from the bricks, as they call. I grew up from the dirt. Single mother, 2 kids, but she worked her ass off to provide for us and make sure that we weren't in trouble. But yeah, as they would say in the rap songs, I was one of them kids that was plucking the roaches out the cereal box. We was fighting the rats and the roaches. But I always knew that I was better than my environment. Not the people, the environment. I knew that I was stronger than just being typecast to the projects, because the projects is something that was created by the government. You know what I'm saying? And the more and more the projects grew, the more and more that they did things to make people think, well, this is the best that you got. And I always knew that no. And so, and a lot of people fell victim to that, and I didn't. So I saw a lot of violence, and I grew up in the 90s when all this gun violence, you know, in the inner cities, and these mass shootings. Like in the 90s, gun violence exploded. That's when it started to explode. And it wasn't just an inner city thing. Little Bobby D and Jimmy would go to school and there would be a mass shooting, Columbine. So there was all types of stuff that was happening in the 90s. And I was a teenager in that era. I remember when the gangs had dispersed from California and they started coming to Pittsburgh, and they started bringing that gang stuff with them to Pittsburgh. I remember going to high school the first day. Now, I had just graduated from a Catholic school. I remember going to high school the first day and seeing a big old gang fight where the security had chained a teenager, chained him to a door because they thought he was in a fight, and they made a mistake. And then like 15, 20 people thought or knew that child was from another neighborhood, because that's what the gangs was all about, was, you know, this neighborhood versus that neighborhood. And all 15 to 20 people pummeled this dude, and he was just hanging from his handcuff, just dangling. It was just it was out of control. I remember coming out of school seeing drive-by shootings, people getting shot in the chest, people getting beat up and laid in the middle of the street in the hopes that a car would run them over. Things went crazy in the 90s. I only paint that picture for you because that was teenage life for me. And again, I said, no, I'm bigger and better than this. I'm not going to succumb to this. And then I was blessed and fortunate enough to start my career where I started it, build a foundation for my family to where the hopes were we wouldn't be subject to that. But the crazy thing about it is, when you try to separate your kids from that element, they want to go. The more you try to separate them from it, the more they want to go to it. So I have some of my kids that were not raised like that at all, because me and their mother were raised in that element. We were like, no, our kids aren't going to be. Where a couple of them wanted to be part of it, and they had to learn the hard way. You know what I mean? There's a reason why we were sheltering you from that. But I said all of that to say this. Through all that violence, I've had shotguns pulled out. I remember I was walking to play. I used to play basketball a lot as a teenager, and I would play by myself. I would practice a lot. And I remember walking down the street in Homewood. And Homewood was a Crip area. And I had a blue jean jacket. Blue jean outfit. I thought my blue jean outfit was so fly. And the blue jean outfit had one little red stripe on it. One little small little red stripe on it. And I remember this car driving by me once, And then it drove by me again as I walked down the street. And the car pulled up next to me, rolled down the back window, just like New Jack City. Showed his shotgun and said, homie, don't go up to the Ave with that, they used to call it dead for red. Don't go up on the Ave with that dead on your jacket. And I said, yep, okay. And I turned my ass right back around. So what I'm saying is that was the level of violence that I grew up in. And I don't want to say I got used to it because I knew it was unacceptable, and I would never raise my children under those situations, them circumstances. But it didn't scare me because I had to grow up. I had to survive. When you're younger, when you grow up around that and you're younger, yes, at first you may be terrified, but all that adrenaline is running through you and you become accustomed to it. I'm going to tell you this. With all that violence that I saw as a teenager and that I kind of shook off and it didn't scare me, it's worse now. The level of gun violence and stuff that I see here in the States, now I'm scared. I ain't gonna front. I'm scared now. It's horrible. A good friend of mine, who me and him grew up, and we used to be one of those, yeah, brothers, you ain't got to do that, man. All that gun violence, man. Put down those guns, man. Put that down. We used to be one of them, right? The Maliks from or Menace to Society. What's his name? Malik or Khalil, whatever his name was. Come on, brothers, y'all ain't got to drink that poison. We used to be them, me and him. We're still good friends to this day. He has 5 kids. Him and all of his kids have gun licenses, and he's shown all of them how to shoot everything from a 9 to the Draco to the AK-47. He's not playing now because that's how bad it is. My one child drives around with the Draco in her truck. Like, it's gotten so out of control now that it's become the wild, wild west. I'm afraid. I'm not gonna front. I'm afraid. And I live in a good neighborhood, a very good neighborhood. I'm afraid because it ain't just inner city stuff. There's psychos everywhere. They're going to go shoot up schools and shoot up post offices. It's horrible. It's horrible. So when somebody says, oh man, I'm nervous of the States, I don't get mad. I don't get offended because I'm nervous. And I grew up around violence. I used to look outside of my project window every day. It was nothing for me to look out my project window every day and see my cousins and them, because they crazy, in a gunfight with somebody. And me come down the steps, oh man, why you out there shooting, man? You know what I'm saying? Like instead of saying, let me stay away from this fool, because if he was just in a gunfight, the person might come back and might gun me down. I went from, it's far worse now. It's crazy. Like, everywhere you go, your head is on a swivel. So I'm not offended by that. I really feel things are out of control here, and just the access to guns and the proliferation of them. It's out of control. Out of control. So be afraid, because you're not safe anywhere. I remember my wife was telling me about a conversation she was having at work, and somebody was like, oh man, the inner cities are bad. Gun violence is getting out of control. My wife told him, it's getting out of control everywhere. Don't you know the next day that person had their child evacuated, the school that person's child went to, that said that to my wife, had to be evacuated because there was a gun threat there. that they neutralized in enough time. Somebody had a gun and was going to shoot up a whole bunch of students supposedly, or something was going on and they was able to stop the student before they went to the school. Something that happened. I can't remember the whole story. It's out of control here, man. It is out of control here. And if you're afraid, yeah, it's your better senses. It's your better senses. I'm sorry. That was my public announcement speech for the day. Yep. All right. Rudig says, I'm a member on Cloud Dosage. Yep. So Rudigs, make sure that you join your YouTube account on Discord. And what you'll see is, you'll see a, here, I'll show you guys. Can I? No. You're going to see a panel that only you can see on the left-hand side that says Members Hub. And depending upon the tier that you are, you'll be able to see different tiers. Like if you're a tier 1 person, you'll only see the hub, you'll only see the channel for tier 1 content. If you're tier 2, you'll see tier 2 and tier 1. If you're tier 3, you'll see all 3. There's also a general members chat, and then there's 2 game rooms in there right now. We're going to be adding more. But right now in the tier 1 content, no, it's tier 2. If you're at least tier 2, there's a video that we put out there. I might put it out there for tier 1. We'll see. But yeah, at least, but tier 1 is like, if you just want to show some support and get a shout out, that's great. My recommendation is tier 2. So you'll get the bulk, the overwhelming majority of content with tier 2. Paul G says, out of all the first world, America might be the toughest. I wouldn't say they're the toughest. It's just that the guns, there's guns everywhere. Like, don't get me wrong, in this third world, well, he said out of the first world countries. Yeah, you're right. I'm thinking of third world countries. Yeah, out of the first world countries, yeah, it's horrible here, bruh. It's horrible. And everywhere you go, you ain't safe nowhere no more. Paul G says, MM2K, no, you were better than the environment and many of the people. I don't like saying I'm better than people. Better than the environment, sure, absolutely. I think a lot of us are better than the environment. But I'll give you an example why I said I'm not better than people. You don't know the situation that some people grow up in. Like, I had a cousin. God rest his soul, he was very smart. But that side of the family was bad. His mom was strung out on crack. We tried our best to take him. We even tried to adopt him and stuff like that. And he wasn't like a first cousin, he was like, like a second or third cousin. So it was hard for us to do that. And he ended up just turning into them. We tried our best, but as you get older, I agree that you can't fall victim to that. But some people, we're creatures of habit. So it's a lot harder when you've been indoctrinated into something to get up out of it, but you got to get up out of it. So yeah, to this day, man, I love my cousin, man. He's a great guy. He tries, but So I don't. But if we were successful in adopting him and keeping him, oh shit, he sky's the limit. No telling what he would be doing. You know what I mean? So I tend not to say that I'm better than people. Better than the environment, absolutely. But not better than people. Sean says, I'm south side of Chicago. I know. Yeah, bruh. Yeah, and it's even worse down there, man. It's crazy. He said, can't even go to the Walmart no more. No more safe. Yeah. That's what, it's starting to get like that here, bruh. where you go to Sam's Club or something like that, you're just looking out like, is this altercation gonna go to a gun battle? It's like the OK Corral. It's crazy. Rudig says, no, I'll have to join the Discord. I don't think I am in the Cloud Dosage Discord. Yeah, it's not it's the PNTS Network Discord, but it's PNTS Network Omega. But what'll happen is when you join here, yeah, you know what? That's a good point. Let me do this. It's probably good that we invite you guys to the Discord. So I'm gonna put this here too. PNTS Network Discord. Yeah, you're gonna want to join here too. So go ahead and check that out. Again, the Discord is still being worked out. We're still trying to get people on and stuff like that. And we're still trying to flesh it out, but definitely go there. He said, John said, I used to do B&Es until the OGs told me to focus on school. They don't want me going down. Yeah, that I ain't gonna front. When I was young, I was in some financial trouble when I was real young. And I had fought it. Like I said, I was like Malik or Akil, whatever the hell his name was, off of Menace to Society. Come on, brother, put that down, man. We can do better than that. But no, when I was out on my own and then my first child was coming, and I remember I was at school and my homie came up to me. He said, bro, now this dude was the quietest dude on earth. Me and him was real cool. And I was just sitting there thinking about all the financial woes that I had. And bro came up to me. He said, bro, what's wrong with you, man? I was like, man, I'm just I'm in a crunch, man. I'm trying, my child is coming. And I was going to school. I was in school. Like I was in college. Like I'm trying to make ends meet, man. It just ain't working. Like, da-da-da-da-da-da. He was like, I might be able to help you out. I said, word? He said, yeah, come by the crib. I came by the crib, man. I'm just saying, bro was connected. I ain't never seen that much paraphernalia in my life. You know what I'm saying? And then when my people, and so I got connected to him. So my peoples told me, was like, yo, because I got crazy family. They're like, yo, look, we off the rocker, but old boy's off the rocker. You need to leave him alone. Don't think that this is just something that you're going to do to help you pay your bills. And because he's going to lean on you more and more and more. Just leave it alone. And I ended up getting out of that. And never looking back. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was there too, man. I was there too. That's why I say I don't say that I'm better than people because, and I get what you're saying, Paul G. I get the mindset. Like me and my mother was just having this discussion not too long ago because that's how she feels. Like, no, just some people, And I'm like, I don't look at it that way. I just look at it differently because look at me. I was raised better than that, and I almost fell into that. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, definitely. Like you're right there. You can't excuse people. Decisions have consequences. And regardless of your upbringing, that doesn't mean that you don't have an opportunity to think about stuff instead of reacting. So I'm with you there. I'm with you to 1,000%. Cold Blood Sensei said this song. What is this song? Hold on. This song is... Jesus Christ. Hold on. Let me see if I can. This song is Rising Fades by Harris Heller. Rising Fades by Harris Heller. Hold on. Why is this? All right. Raising fades. Oh no, that was old. I thought that was Cold Blood Sensing. That's an old message. All right, so yeah, PS5 is looking fire, bro. And I'm gonna be talking about a lot of that. So really, this first video that I have up there, we're bringing back Lyrics to Go. And in the Lyrics to Go, I talk about Microsoft and my feelings towards Microsoft's impact on gaming. So you definitely want to check that out, because going into 2023, that's going to be a big time discussion. So again, that's member content. Lyrics to Go is member content. If you're not a member and you want to check that out, it's for tier 2 members. What you're going to want to do is hit, you're going to either want to subscribe here and to get a tier 2 subscription. You'll either want to go to the Patreon, which I have pinned here, and become a tier 2 member there. Or you'll want to go to Cloud Dosage over at Cloud Dosage News over on YouTube and become a prescription member, which is our tier 2 membership there. All right. So yeah, that's basically it, man. That's everything for what we're providing now. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Thank you so much. And enjoy your holidays. We're not going to be doing any more podcasts except Spoils of Anime. Spoils of Anime. We're going to be doing one this week, and we're going to be doing one next week. We're going to be doing Spoils of Anime tomorrow, and we're going to be doing Spoils of Anime next Tuesday. But there's not going to be any more podcasts, just game streams and me chatting it up for the remainder of the year, because I'm trying to flesh out the Discord and try to flesh out the memberships. And don't forget, for Cloud Dosage members, we're going to try to expand this to everybody else, but for Cloud Dosage members, we're going to look into ways of doing this for more people in 2023. But for Cloud Dosage members, don't forget that if you sign up by tomorrow, you'll be entered into the raffle for this month. All right. They entered into the $50 gift card raffle until next month. For this month. All right. With that said, until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.